Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with ElectraSoul. If you're new to my channel, I'm a psychic medium, a spiritual life coach, and just a spiritual bitch putting everybody on. What I intend to do is to teach people that God and Jesus and the universe coexist as one. Now today in this video, guys, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of information on something that I feel like is important to know, especially if you are using the law of assumption and if you were someone like me who would literally search up every single video and its mama or topic within the law of assumption, because I would literally look up every single topic that you could ever imagine within the law, and I would watch videos that would cover the information in regards to it, or I would read posts, just always saturating myself with information. And so that's why in this video I'm going to be telling y'all why it's important to step back or to take it slower than you usually would if you were to be looking up information in regards to law of assumption, because as you know, oversaturation does make you feel like you have all of the information here but now you don't know what to do with it, when in reality you have all the information. Just apply it. That's the only thing that you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. If you are overthinking this, I'm gonna tell y'all that it's probably time to take a step back and to just apply what you know, as opposed to just continuing consumption, because consumption's only gonna take you so far until you get to a point where it's like you gotta apply the information now, you feel me? Well then anyway, before we get deeper into this, let's get started with the video right now so that we get to talking about this. Okay, perfect. Now that we're in, let's get to talking about how to not oversaturate yourself and why it's important to just like stop doing that if you know that you're doing too much, a little too much, by getting too much information to a point where you feel like it's excessive now, you know? Well then anyway, when it comes to oversaturation, I am going to say that it's actually a very tricky and a very slow moving process in which you get caught up in oversaturation. And what this means is that a lot of times people don't realize how easy it is to just literally overconsume all of the information that the law of assumption gives you, because even though it really is as simple as affirm, persist, and that's basically it, like that's all you need to know apart from not reacting, not checking the 3D or anything like that, is that there are also a lot of success stories that people share. There's a lot of techniques, there's a lot of methods that people use. There's just like a whole bunch of questions that go into this and a whole lot of other things, the smaller things that people like to pick up on as a part to just knowing to affirm and persist. People want to know how to do this, how to do that, how to do this and that, you feel me? And that's completely fine. You are completely valid to looking up your information and figuring out what to do in regards to using the law of assumption or whatever topic that you are covering within the law. But I will say that again, upon you learning all the information that you've learned, it gets to a point where you know that you're doing too much, not in a bad way, but just to a point where you're like,
okay, I know all the information. Do I apply it or do I keep learning?
I'm gonna tell you right now that if this is you and you are somebody who doesn't know which one to do or whatever it is for you, I am going to tell you that once you get to a point where you physically feel like, okay, I know everything and now I need to just put it into my life and to stop looking up information to back it up or whatever else, that's when you take a step back and you just apply what you know. And I mean this wholeheartedly, because I was also one of those oversaturators. Like I would overconsume the fuck out of information from the law of assumption, and it was because I honestly am a person who asks a lot of questions. Like I want to know if you have to do this or you have to do that. Do you have to affirm for how many times a day? How long do you have to do it for? What does it feel like? What ends up happening? You know, things like that. Like I wanted to know everything. So of course I looked up all the information. I looked up exactly what I had to do. I was not shy to search up my questions, you know, things like that. And I did watch a whole bunch of videos, and I also read a whole bunch of Tumblr posts and things like that. Like, you know, I would just look up what I felt like I needed help in, and then I would take on the information. But this was also at the very start, okay? Because upon you figuring out what the law is, it's a very exciting feeling. I'm sure y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Like once you figure out what the law is, it's almost like a whole new world has opened, and now you need to figure out every single thing that the law of assumption is telling you. How do you do this? How do you do that? What's this and that? Like things like that. Every single topic that you could ever think of is something that you would probably find very interesting within the law of assumption, because it all is very, very interesting. It's very cool to know that you can literally change your entire life simply by stating that everything's different in your mind, out loud, whatever, persisting with it, and that's all you have to do. Like, can y'all imagine the amount of clarity that people have found upon finding out about the law of assumption? Because it's almost like they found out the answer to all of their problems, which is literally just using yourself to solve every single issue you've ever had, because there's no reason to have issues in the first place. If you say what you say, it's gonna go that way, and that's it. But then anyway, you know, even though it is very amazing and it's very eye-opening and oh my goodness, I love what I'm learning and all this stuff, because again, I was there, I completely understand it. I would search up so many things, I would talk about it all the time to my boyfriend. Like I would just ask, watch, read all the fucking time. But then with time, even though I knew that there was always something new to learn each and every single day, it eventually got to a point where I realized that all the information that I have inside of myself is all information that I'm just recycling over and over and over again, because I already know that I have to affirm and persist, and I already know that it's real. But regardless of me knowing these these two things and knowing that people do get what they want, what would I continue to do? I would continue to read success stories. I would continue to read what people are doing, what people are saying, how fast they get what they want. Like, I would keep looking at what other people were doing. And even though, yes, it was very beneficial at the start when I was figuring it out, over time it got to a point where it was like, okay, I'm looking at people do it, but like, do I know how to do it, or are these people just lucky? You feel me? And it was almost like it was turning into a comparison thing where I was like, but they manifested it in a week, why did it take me a month? You know, things like that. And it's like, that's not what you're supposed to do. And especially if you are researching the law of assumption, you're never supposed to compare yourself to others, nor do too much, which is when you look up stories and see what's wrong with yours and why is it not matching with theirs. Like, it's not the same thing. It's literally not. If someone manifests what they want in a day and you get it in a week, who cares? Like, you both still got it. But you feel me? This all comes with the overconsumption, because you start to look at every single aspect within the law of assumption, apart from every other rule that there is to it. Because apart from me looking up success stories, I would also look up additional rules as if I didn't know what to do. I would look up the transition period, associate myself more with the transition period. Once I stopped actually mentally paying attention to the transition period, it completely disappeared from me, and I never had a transition period since like whenever I told y'all last that I did, which I honestly think was like last year or something. I don't even remember when it was. But as y'all can see, I would just consume, and that shit would eventually drive me crazy, because I realized again that I knew exactly what I had to do. It was just me who was slacking, because within learning all the information that I learned, if something went wrong, even for one day, like, and keep in mind, things can only go wrong if you say that they go wrong. So anytime that I would be affirming and persisting, and then I would suddenly react to the 3D, I would be like, fuck, the manifestation's not gonna come. Gotta do my research, gotta see what happened here. And then I would go on Tumblr, go online, read up some articles or books, whatever the fuck, but I would just read whatever I could to find an answer to why I didn't get what I wanted. Bitch, I didn't get what I wanted because I was reacting to the 3D, because I checked the 3D. Like, that was all on me, and nothing online was gonna help me solve that problem except for me, because I already knew that. Do y'all see what I'm saying? It is completely different for somebody who doesn't know genuinely what to do when it comes to, okay, I was affirming and persisting though, why didn't I get what I wanted? If you genuinely don't know, that's entirely different, because in that case, you're not just reading the same answer that you've already gotten before. In this case, you would be learning, okay, I didn't get what I wanted because I reacted to the 3D, and you're completely valid. Right then and there, you read that, you know it now, okay, now take it on with you and apply it, and stop doing more research, because why the fuck do you have to keep doing research? If you already know that you've put in the work, that you're getting what you want, that it's done, all that stuff, there's no reason as to why you have to keep searching up articles to figure out what's going on, when in reality, it's entirely up to you. Like, no source online is going to tell you exactly why your SP didn't call you tonight. The only person who's gonna answer that for you is you. Ask yourself, why the fuck didn't your SP call you tonight? First of all, yes, they did. But number two, you might have been reacting, you might have been checking, you might have been doing things that you knew wasn't good for you or didn't align with you, and that made you feel a type of way inside of your mind. Like, whatever it is, but I'm gonna tell you right now that the answer to what you need and what you're looking for when it comes to your mess ups within the law of assumption is not going to be online if you already know what the reason is. Nothing online is going to try to make you feel better about what you didn't manifest, because you already know why it didn't happen. Don't do too much when it comes to this, I'm telling you guys, because it does get very exhausting. This is the reason why even today, I honestly don't think I have researched anything within the law in about a year. I will say it has been about a year that I have not looked up anything within the law of assumption online, because I feel like I already know everything that I have to know. And that's why I come on here to teach y'all, because I already fucking know what I gotta do. You feel me? I've manifested. I do it every day. I maintain my mindset. That's really all that there is to it. It's just maintaining self-discipline, keeping yourself together, not giving up. Like, it's all about pushing yourself to get even better, to get the most out of life, whatever it is, but you're applying the pressure, and that's why you're getting what you want, okay? So in that case, you're completely fine. You have all of the things that you need inside of you already. The only thing that the internet and these books did for you was just remind you of the power that you have, and that's it. It just reminded you that you have all the tools inside of you in order to succeed, and now it just got brought out of you. You feel me? That's literally all that there is to it in regards to that, because once you know, I will say, you just fucking know, and it's the truth. You really do. Now, apart from this, I will say that in the case that you do feel like you need some sort of reminder when it comes to law of assumption, like maybe you haven't been practicing the law for like 6 months and you feel like you want to get back into it, go right ahead and go online. Like, read your books, do whatever you got to do to figure out what's going on here and figure out what you have to do again in case you forgot. But this is not the same thing as you knowing what you have to do, and then every single time something happens, you have to run online to go figure out what's up or what's going on and what's this and what's that. Like, you don't need to know everything, number one. And number two, so everything that you want to know in the first place is already inside of you. It's all done. I'm telling y'all right now. Looking up information on the law of of assumption is a very fun thing to do. I had a lot of fucking fun doing it when I first started out, but then you just get to a point where you realize that it's either you keep looking up what to do and how to do this and all this stuff, or you can just take what you've learned over the course of a month or 2 months or however long you've been studying it for, and you just apply it and you start taking responsibility for your own actions as opposed to looking for an answer online when you already have the answer. Apply your answer. Know what you're doing wrong if you are doing anything wrong, because 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, you already know what you're doing wrong. That's it. You just have to fix it. Figure out the problem and then fix it because you know that you can. And it really is that simple. There's no reason as to why you have to just keep reading and reading and reading and no. I'm telling y'all right now today, because I am a person, like I told y'all at the beginning, who asks a lot of fucking questions. I love to ask questions. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. But I've also learned myself that there comes a point where you know all the answers. You've had every fucking one of your questions answered. And yes, I am one of those people who have had every single one of their questions answered. So if I choose to still be ignorant even after knowing that I know all the answers, that's entirely my choice. Where instead of doing that, I could just be applying the law as opposed to just searching up every fucking thing online when I already know the answer, y'all. Even within watching my videos, like I do encourage it, of course, because I know that a lot of my videos are pertains to me motivating y'all to get what you want pretty much. Like I really want y'all to. So regardless of whether you're watching my videos or not, in each and every single one, it's not just information, it's also motivation. So in that case that you do watch my videos and you feel like you're over consuming, you could either take a step back, and this is not just for me, y'all, I'm talking about for any kind of thing within the law of assumption. You could just take a step back, or you can choose to keep watching and looking at these kinds of videos if you'd like. But if you are going to do that and you feel like you know all the information that you need, do not watch any kinds of videos like mine or like anybody else's that make you feel like that you're just watching because you need to know more. In reality, guys, if you feel good about looking up what you're looking up because you feel like you need that reassurance, that motivation to keep going, go ahead and do that. I'm talking mostly about the fact that people tend to oversaturate themselves with information that you already know the answer to. But if you do need the motivation, which I always encourage, because I know that I still look up motivational things. You know, I don't look up information about the law, but I do like to see things that motivate me to keep going and doing what I'm doing. So do the same for yourself if you feel like that is you, because I'm telling you, it's always going to be nice to have a hand reach out to you while you are affirming and persisting within getting what you want, because everyone wants to know that they are going to get what they want, and you already know that, but know it inside of your heart. And by looking at all these motivational things as opposed to all the informational things, of course it will push you to become better, because you won't feel like you're lacking something. I need to know something more, I need to do this differently, all this stuff. No, just keep doing what you're doing. Affirm, persist, do not give up on yourself. Like, you're doing the right thing. There's nothing else that you have to do besides that, and it really is as simple as that. And that's why the law is such a gift. It's because it's all about just looking inside of ourselves. The law of assumption doesn't even have to have the name the law of assumption. It could just be called looking inside of yourself to get everything that you want. That's pretty much what the fucking tea is, bitch, because you already know that you're getting what you want. Stop over consuming information if you feel like you're doing that to yourself, because it's not healthy, the healthiest, I guess, because y'all know why. It's just too much on the soul. Apply what you know and get what you want, because you fucking can, because we said so, and that's it. No reason as to why you can't. I'm telling y'all right now, right here, as a literal walking questionnaire, I already know what the tea is, but I'm gonna tell y'all, if you know the info, stop over consuming. That's all you gotta do, and that's it. Alright, y'all, that's basically it for my video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I intended this video up to the best of its ability, and I know that it did, because guys, listen up real quick. If you are an overconsumer, I'm gonna tell y'all that y'all need to stop doing it to yourselves, because there's no reason as to why you have to be looking up so much shit within the law of assumption, especially if you know what you know. Like, you know what you gotta do. You know the information. You're gonna apply all that shit. Like, you know what the tea is. So why are you going to do more than you're supposed to by looking up even more excessive information on top of what you already know when you already know the tea? You feel me? I'm never gonna look up, what does the transition period do? How long does it last for? What does it mean? Blah, blah. If I already know all the answers to those questions, like, no one out here is going to change the information to tell me something new. When in reality, the law is really so fucking simple. That's why you need to stop looking for answers upon looking for answers upon looking for answers, when you're only going to get the same answers, or you're going to get different versions of the same answers. And if someone tells you something that's not true, or that you know does not apply to the law of assumption, don't take it in. But you see, that's another thing. You might end up consuming information that's like,
wait, I was told I have to affirm for this long. I actually have to affirm for this long?
no, the fuck? The only length that you have to affirm for is for as long as you feel like you need to, until you get what you want, and then for the rest of your life, because once you get what you want, you don't have to affirm for it anymore. You just have to affirm maintaining that shit in your life. I have what I want and that's it. I have what I want and that's it. then you get what you want, and then what do? I have what I want, and that's it, because now you have what you want permanently in your physical reality. So it's all here for you. It's all done for you. You've already got that shit. Why are you gonna be tripping out about that? Like, there's nothing else that you have to learn about this thing, because you already have all the information needed in order to succeed in regards to that certain area within the law of assumption. That's all you need to know. Once you have the information down, it's set in stone. It's not gonna leave you, I promise you. Once you've awakened to the law, bruh, you never go back to sleep, bitch. It's really like some simulation shit. Like, we're in the Matrix, honestly speaking, because we broke the curse. We did that shit. Like, we just did it all. Groundbreaking experience. The law of assumption is, because it really is. You know everything that you need to know. You're applying that shit. How are you not gonna get what you want? The only way that you can't is if you state that you can't, is if you stress yourself out, is if you think that you need to learn more information because what you know is not enough. Yes, it is. If you know what you know, and you know that this has worked for other people, you know that you can apply this to your life and it will be more than enough, then don't be afraid. Put down the book and fucking apply it. That's all you need to do. Just apply it to your life and see how your life changes for the better, because it will have no other choice but to change for the better. Because what are you doing? Applying the law of assumption in the way that you should be applying it. If it's not you, then who? Who's gonna get you what you want? The book isn't gonna get you what you want. The computer isn't gonna get you what you want. The fucking phone isn't gonna get you what you want. The only person who's gonna get you what you want is you. After you've learned all the information, you're gonna maintain that thing in your mind. You're gonna hold it inside of your brain, and you're going to remember it for every single moment, no matter what it is. Whenever you come to the reacting part, okay, how do I not react? Just don't look at it. How do I not check? Just don't look at it. How do I not experience the transition period? Just don't experience it. Boom. You feel me? You have all the answers right in front of you. Just remember what you already know. If you already know the answer to something, do not go on fucking Tumblr or Reddit or wherever else that you get your info from to look up why, because then you're just making it worse. You're making it harder when it doesn't have to be that way. Just keep it simple, babe. Keep it fucking simple. Once you got the information, apply it and you're set. That's all you need to do. Nothing else besides that. Stop stressing yourself out. Stop thinking that you have to do something differently, and stop thinking that you have to consume more information because you don't know, because this happened, because that happened, because I'm unsure. No, you are very sure, because I'm here fucking telling you today what it is that you gotta do. Learn the information and don't look back again, because once you know it, it's not gonna leave you. You're not gonna read the Bible 20 times in order to get all the info down, are you? You're gonna read it once or twice, you got it down, okay, good, perfect, it's done. Same thing goes for whatever else. If you're studying, if you're doing this, whatever you're doing, you're not gonna read that book 100 million times unless you really enjoy that book. But if you already know the information that it's telling you, you're not gonna keep rereading it unless you need the reminder. That's entirely different. But if you don't need the reminder, just affirm and persist, y'all. It really is that simple. That's all you gotta fucking do. You know that you can do this, so just do it. That's it. All right, y'all? Perfect. Because with that being said, I will see y'all this Thursday for another video. Thank y'all so much again for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless y'all. Please take care, everybody. And if you are one of these people who have learned everything that you need to know about the law of assumption, why are you going to be sitting here making it worse? I'm gonna say worse, even though of course nothing can get worse in your life, but I'm gonna say it's gonna get worse because in that case, you're stressing yourself out now. You're making yourself feel a type of way that you shouldn't be feeling, because now you think, I have to look up more, I need to know more. No, the fuck you don't. I'm gonna tell you right now, no, you don't. If you already know what you know and you're as smart as you are because you're the smartest bitch ever, then why in the world do you have to keep looking up what you gotta do? If you already know what you gotta do, nothing else besides that. All you gotta do now is just apply the info. Apply it. Stop making yourself sick with information, bro. You're gonna make yourself feel insane knowing everything that you know plus more. Like, I know what it was like to feel that way. I didn't want to feel that way anymore, so I stopped and I just applied the information, and then I never looked back because I never read another article after that, never read another whatever the fuck after that. It was just done. I got what I want. I said that I do. I have the information, applied it, and it's done. The fuck? That's all you have to do. So do it. Stop over consuming. You can fucking do this because we said so. And that's it. Bye. Okay, I'm glad that you know that you don't have to have a transition period if you don't want to. I'm glad that you know that you have to keep affirming and persisting in order to get what you want. I'm glad that you know that there's no checking or reacting to the 3D, because why the fuck would you do those things? I'm glad that you know this stuff. Now stop reading up on it to figure out even more about these kinds of things when you already know the answers, bro. You don't need more. The only thing that you need is what you already know, bitch, and that's everything. If you know what you know, apply that shit to your life, because you know that this is the information that you need in order to get what you want. You're the only person holding yourself back, my love. I promise. promise you, if you believe that there's something that you have to do differently besides applying what you already know, then what are you doing this for? The phone, laptop, books, whatever that you're reading is not going to get you what you want, babe. The only thing that's going to get you what you want is you. So apply the info that you know, because you already know it all. I know that you do, especially if you're fucking watching my videos every week. You already know what you got to do. Now pause the damn video and go apply this shit so that you can get the best for yourself, because this is exactly what you deserve out of your life. This is your life for a reason. You can fucking do this. So go out there and go do that thing without over consuming all the information that you need, because you already know what to do. Just apply it. That's all you need to do now. Okay? Perfect. Now go out there and get what you fucking want, because you said so, and that's it.